Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to this video where we're going to be talking about how to create a high converting welcome email flow in 2024. Now, if you're new here, my name is Emily and I help e-commerce brand owners and marketers elevate their brand using email marketing. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out my other videos and subscribe and like. I'm releasing new tutorials every single week. So today we are focusing on the welcome email flow or welcome email sequence. Now this is the sequence of emails that people receive once they subscribe to your newsletter. And in the case of e-commerce, you will often have a first order discount pop-up that collects people's email addresses. The welcome email sequence is the series of emails that takes people through that process of getting to know your brand, of building some trust, and of driving sales. Now your welcome email sequence is a series of automations that probably has the highest open rates and highest engagement rates. So if you do not have one in place and you're an e-commerce brand, you are most likely leaving money on the table. But don't worry, because I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up within Klaviyo, and we're going to walk through every single email that you need as part of the sequence and all the specific settings and little tweaks you need to make along the way to make this as effective as possible. So your welcome email sequence really sets the tone for future communications. Like I said, it builds trust, it introduces your brand, you can add some social proof, and you drive sales. So it really is nurturing the people that have shown some kind of interest in your brand. And if you think about the overall marketing funnel, you have awareness, you have engagement, and then you have conversion, if we look at it as a three-step process. In the awareness phase, people are going to be learning about your brand through, let's say, platforms like social media. When they go onto your website and then opt into your newsletter or opt into a specific lead magnet, they are taking the next step in the marketing funnel and moving into a space where you need to nurture them and hold their hand throughout this customer journey. This is why email is so important, because it creates the journey, it creates the link between the awareness phase and the conversion phase. And what we like to do with email marketing is think about what people need to know about your brand, what trust they need to have, what objections they need to overcome in order to buy. And we take people along that journey using email marketing. Now your welcome flow, like I said, is very important. It is just one piece of the puzzle in the overall email marketing strategy. However, it is really important to get right as it sets the tone for all future communications. So let's dive into exactly how to set this up. So just to give you an overview of how we're going to be working through this tutorial today, this is what you're going to need. So first we need a way to collect email addresses. So we're going to look at the first order discount pop-up that you can set up on your site, as well as any newsletter sign-up form that you can have on your website. And what we will do in Klaviyo, as you will see, is slightly split this flow between brand new and returning customers, just to make sure that people who have already purchased from you do not receive that first order discount again. And then what we're going to do is set up a 4-step flow. And this is the overview of what this will look like. So email 1 is a welcome email. Email 2 features your best sellers. Email 3 is a call to action to follow us on socials, and we can add some UGC and some social proof in this email too. And then lastly, email 4 is a discount reminder for those people who have not yet purchased. Now, all these emails will have a time delay between each. These will likely be between 1 to 2 days, depending on your brand, and you can test slightly different times. I'll show you exactly how I've set it up for one of my clients, and you can copy that as a template. So let's dive into Klaviyo and see what this looks like. Okay, so here we are in Klaviyo, and there are a couple things that I just want you to take note of. So we need to be able to collect people's email addresses, and the way that we do this in e-commerce is by setting up a first order discount pop-up. So this is a sign-up form that comes up on your website, and people give their email address in exchange for some first order discount. Depending on your niche or your product, you can offer discounts ranging from 10 to 50%. You can offer free shipping. It depends on your brand. So we will create a basic sign-up form that appears on your website. So let's just go with this basic pop up. So when you are setting up your first order discount, you need to assign it to a specific subscriber list. So I would choose the email subscriber list newsletter, click create form. This form is pretty easy to edit. You just add your image, you adapt the copy and the design based on your own brand guidelines and on your own offer. So this is step one, where people opt in. I generally would like to include someone's name as well. So we have like a text input here, and we can assign that profile property to name, to first name. Label it first name. It's nice to get people's first names so that you can do personalization from the get-go. And then when people click unlock offer, it takes them to the next step. This step is success. And what you can do is you can place your discount code here, or what you can do, what I would normally do, is actually direct people to their inbox to go and open that first email, and then within the email you contain the discount that you've promised. And I like to do this because, one, it really improves the open and engagement rates of that first email in the sequence, and that helps to show Google or whatever inbox you're sending to that you are not a spam account, and it improves your sender reputation. So that's one quick way to improve your email sender reputation and your metrics. So change this copy and direct people to go check their inbox. When you're ready, you're going to click publish, and I'm not going to do that right now, but I want to show you an important setting that you need to have. So within lists and segments, you go to the list that people are signing up to. As we just said, it is newsletter. And what we want to do is change the settings. We come across to settings, and we change the consent settings to single opt-in, not double opt-in. Because with double opt-in, people first receive an email that says, do you actually want to subscribe? And then they have to click yes, and then they are subscribed. And while this does technically improve the quality of your list, it's going to create another kind of barrier to entry. It's going to add a little bit more friction, and you're going to lose half the people in your email list. Rather get them all in, get them all through that welcome flow, introduce them to the brand, and then you can remove people who are not engaging and kind of segment your lists based on engagement, as opposed to just cutting people out right from the beginning. Because a lot of people don't even see those emails, or they're busy, they're expecting a discount to come through, but they don't realize that they first need to actually do that double opt-in. So that's a very important setting that I want you to set up. And then what we're going to do is you're going to come across to flows, and this is going to be where you set up your welcome flow. So when you start, you're going to click create flow, and Klaviyo actually has now got some AI tools that build out your welcome flow for you, so you're welcome to go through that process. However, what I'm going to show you is a flow that I've actually created already for a client. So we're going to come here to the welcome series, customer versus non-customer. So the first order discount pop-up, as we know, sends people to the newsletter, and the trigger is when someone is added to a newsletter, we then send them a bunch of emails. Aware of something around this trigger and the specific flow filters that are relevant here. So flow filters will basically limit profiles who enter the flow. If at any point during this sequence a profile no longer meets that flow filter requirement that you've set, they will be kicked out the flow. So what we want to do here is add a flow filter that is around what someone has done or not done. They have placed order 0 times since starting this flow. And the reason we want to do this is because when people place an order, they're going to move into a different flow, the post-purchase flow, and we don't want them to keep receiving welcome series emails. So just to prevent people from receiving too many emails all at once, we move them to a different flow and we kick them out of this flow. So make sure that you have set that up. So this is a conditional split that I like to include here, as I mentioned. So people who've purchased from us in the past are not going to get that first order discount code for obvious reasons, because it's a first order discount code and they've already bought from us. So we want to split people between these two. So basically, if someone has placed an order at least once over all time, they're going to get a certain flow, and if they haven't, if they're brand new customers, they're going to get the welcome flow including the discount. But this is pretty easy to set up, and what I would do is when you're building out these emails, start writing the emails for brand new customers, and then what you do is just copy them across, so you can just duplicate each email. So you clone, and then what you can do is just drag emails across to different parts of the flow. So that's quite a quick way. You're not creating 9 unique emails, you're actually just creating 4 plus 1 at the end, and then you're duplicating these, and the only thing you're doing is removing any reference to that first order discount code. Okay, so just for a little bit of context, I know I have shown you that sequence. The basic welcome sequence is the first email is like a welcome intro, this is who we are. The next email is bestsellers. The third email is some social proof. And the fourth email is a discount reminder. So I've included one more email in here that is actually like our story, a little bit more about us, and just adds like some context to the brand as a whole. So you can play around with this. Just think, what does the customer want to know? Add some storytelling. You can make these email flows unique to your brand. So this first email is a general welcome email. The second email is the story of the brand from the perspective of the founder. So really resonating with the customer in that this founder was facing these problems. They then went and found a bunch of different solutions, and when they found what really worked, they wanted to share that with the people around them, and that is how this brand was born. So it's kind of using storytelling to really empathize and resonate with your customer, and it builds some trust because it puts a person and a face behind the brand. The fourth email is like a social proof email, so looking at client and customer testimonials. And the last email here is a discount reminder. So for people who are new customers, so for people who have never purchased from us, if they have not purchased throughout this flow, they are going to get this final reminder to use their discount code. So I'm going to show you exactly what these emails look like in Figma, which is where I do all my email design. So we're going to move across to Figma and I'll show you what this looks like. So let's run through each of these email designs so you can get an idea of how to lay this out. So I like to use Figma to design my emails, but I do actually mix this between building it on Figma and also building it straight into Klaviyo. And I like to actually test different emails. So do an A/B test on an email that is basically 100% image-based, and then an email that is text-based within Klaviyo. If you are doing image-based emails, you have to make sure that your images are sized correctly and optimized so that you do not have any loading or load time issues. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got a 5 email sequence, and I've taken out the brand logo just for privacy purposes. But this is what like your first email could look like. Basically an intro to the brand. You need to have above the fold clear benefit and a call to action. And then I always like to include a banner right at the top because it makes it clear that there's a discount code. And then we do a little bit of storytelling, pulling out like the key pain points that this brand is solving, and welcoming people. So keep this email quite simple and clean, nice image, and quite clear calls to actions throughout. Then the second email, like I said, is a little bit longer, and it's sort of a bit more storytelling from the founder's perspective. So looking at what is the key problem or pain that your brand is solving, and creating a narrative around the founder as going through that pain and then solving a problem. And this just adds a little bit of a personal element to the brand and some social proof as well. Third email is highlighting your best sellers and the key benefits or like transformations that people can expect from using this brand. So highlighting like brand USPs, putting in a product feed, you can do this within Klaviyo, and then highlighting the kind of 3 key USPs of this brand. The fourth email is pulling in some UGC and social proof and just building some trust, showing that other people are using the brand and having a positive experience with the products. Again, having clear calls to actions throughout, and like I always say, have one call to action throughout the email, so don't confuse people by sending them off in different directions. You want to send them to one single place with a number of different buttons. And then, yeah, here we've got some testimonials. And lastly, so this is the final email for people who've not purchased at least once throughout this flow. You just want to remind them that the discount is expiring soon. So inspire some urgency and get them to purchase. So I hope that was helpful. As I've been editing this video, I realize I have my boyfriend walking around in the background of the video, so big apologies if you spotted him. But either way, I hope this video tutorial was really helpful in helping you get started with setting up your own welcome flow for your own e-commerce brand. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out in the comments and we can chat. See you next time.